Hey, what's up guys? This is a quick walkthrough video to get you started using the Ableton Live template. This is a template that I use for playing at church on Sundays, for playing for different events, and for doing production work. I've tried to streamline everything and make it in a way that's easy to understand without a ton of setup involved. So I'm going to start by showing you the layout of everything, and then we'll get into MIDI mapping and all the different effects that I'm using for the sounds. So here's the session. And I'm only really using session view for this template. I don't have anything happening over an arrangement view. So if we just start over on the top left corner, I've got patches split into different categories. So here's a bunch of piano sounds. I've got some synth sounds over here. I've got some more synth sounds. These are my pads over here. These are darker sounding pads and these are brighter sounding pads. And then over here is a section for using drone pads. And over here on the right, I've got the master channel with a few of our Bethel Music songs. Okay, so before I show any of the setup involved, let me just walk you through the sounds really quick. Okay, so over here I can switch between different sounds by clicking on the different clips. So it's a compressed and an upright piano, cinematic, soft piano, chorus piano, Rhodes, and a dynamic piano. These first three are keyscape patches, the compressed, upright, and cinematic. Soft is the soft piano from Labs. Chorus is using this compressed piano and adding an extra chorus effect on it. And these last two are also keyscape patches. Okay, let me open up the device view and show you what's going on with the sounds. First, I have two velocity curves for the Nord Stage 3 and the Nord Stage 2. I've found that these curves work best when using either of those instruments versus not having any velocity curve at all for your pianos. So depending on if you're using one of those, I would switch between that by just activating those velocity curves. And you can always adjust this if you need to, if you feel like this curve isn't matching your instrument correctly. But that's what I have it set on. I'm going to close those out. Over here I've got a filter, verb, delay. Okay, so the verb dial is adjusting the dry wet of the verb. This is completely dry. And then all the way wet. Here's the filter. I don't use this very often for piano. And then this is a delay. Moving over to synths, this is going to be very similar to the piano. You've got filter, verb, and delay. You also have a sequencer setting. And if I have it turned to 0, that's off. This is on. First patch is a CP70. Square pluck. Purity synth. Pluck synth. Distorted synth. And chorus brass. Alright, so the sequencer works on the purity synth and pluck synth. I just marked them by these lines right here. And if I turn that on, pick purity synth, I'm able to hear a sequencer effect. I talked earlier about using the IAC driver in this template. You're going to need it when you're using this synth split. How I've designed these patches to work is when you click one of these, it'll actually split your keyboard so that the lower section is controlled by these sounds and the top 2 octaves are controlled by these sounds. This gives me the ability to still play piano and then add an extra lead line high up while not affecting what I'm playing on the piano. Let's see how that sounds. I'm going to select a piano sound. And then I'm going to select one of these synths. I'm going to do the Jupiter PWM. So that's the upper part of the keyboard. Down here is piano. Moving on to our pads. These are the darker sounding pads. This one is called Dark Blossom. CS80 Swell. Modulated pad. Mellotron. We've got an organ. And you can use the mod wheel for that one to get that Leslie effect. Juno pad. Fluff pillows. Moving on, these are your bright sounding pads. This is called String Machine. Obi pad. Champion sequencer. Willow pad. Bright pad. Step sequencer. All right, so in the effects of the bright pad section, you've got your filter, reverb, you also have sidechain and sequencer. Now, these two are already sequencers, but you can add a sidechain or sequencer effect to any of these sounds. So let's try it with the Obi pad. I'm going to start playing. And I can adjust the amount I need just by turning this dial. Same thing with this, I can turn this and get more or less of this sequence effect. Next section is called texture, and this is for droning pads to play while you're playing these other sounds. So for MIDI mapping, I'm using a nano control. I'm using the sliders to control the sections. So this would be for piano, synth, and pads over here. And then I have these controlling filters and verb. I know that was a lot of information. If you have any questions about anything, feel free to contact me using my website. And I hope this is helpful for you, and I hope you have fun using these patches and running tracks using this template.